What we can do in this one, we can add quad sphere, and we can move it somewhere here, and add some eyes, kind of cool eyes here, somewhere in this area, I would say. So gonna look like a bug. It's kind of funny. And move it in here, make it a bit bigger. And again, we can copy modifiers. So select this, shift select this, Control C, copy modifiers. It's easy. What we can do is grab this bit here. So select, let me show you how to do it. Go to occlude, press B and select everything. Then go back here, Shift D to grab that P selection, grab this bit, and then Control A, scale. Always remember to hit scale. If you don't do that, you're gonna be in a world of pain. Solidify. The hard option box cutter, when you cut something, applies scale automatically. A bit thicker. Cool. Let's move the solidification above the mirror. Right, and we need to shade it smooth and apply auto smooth. There we go. Now let's select all of them here. So all these, shift select this one, Control P, and object keep transform. Now you can just, move this or resize this. Now let's look at the bigger picture, and I think this will be far better actually. Now the problem with this one is that you can see that alignment of this edge here is not really aligned with this edge here, and this kind of clashes a little bit, but we can fix this. Also, I think that maybe we could make this a tad smaller. Okay, if we're gonna make this a tad smaller, it might look a little bit better. So another thing what we could do, we could actually rotate this like that, and drop this rotor somewhere like this. This could also be interesting. Okay, like that. Although I kind of like the fact that it's sort of elevated here, so maybe this one is cool. We could bring it a little bit closer, somewhere here. So I'm thinking that maybe we can rethink this back here. Instead of collapsing it inwards, what we can do is Control plus, then press F to move this face forward, and then E, Y, and extrude it outwards like this. Okay. So we could extrude it outwards here and create a connection that would connect to, to this element here, and rotate this a little bit to align it with this line here, and kind of chuck it in here like that. Okay. So let me see that. So this empty is gonna come in really handy. You can move it really close to make sure that the align, hold shift and kind of rotate it to align them more or less perfectly, and then create this kind of a situation. So you got this sort of a layering here, layering effect. Now I think it looks a little bit better, makes more sense. And we could taper this one, so chamfer it a little bit, okay, to create a bit more of a flare over there. Now here what we could do, we could have some connecting elements. Okay, so Shift A and let's add a cube. So mesh and cube, and we're going to move our cube here and scale it down and move it in. So GY, and let's see what we can do here. SC, scale it down, GZ and move it up, and SX and scale it. And we can move this a little bit forward, so GY, move it a little bit here. Now I want to align it with the angle here and the angle here. Alignment with angles is really important, guys, okay? So, you want to stay as much as you can aligned to all the edges on your canvas. So I want to stay aligned here with this, and I want to stay aligned here. So GG and move it in here like this, right? Okay, cool. Now let's apply scale, Control apply scale, go to edge mode and select both of them and chamfer them like this. Grab these two edges, and in fact not edges, grab these two faces. Let's just move them GYY, so you're gonna move them on the local y-axis here. We could bevel them actually, you know, so Control B and sort of add like 4 segments. This is gonna be interesting. And we could introduce chamfer here on the top and the bottom, so here and here, and chamfer it, so like that. Okay, cool. Right click and shade smooth, and then auto smooth, and then we go into Alt D, Z, and move it down here, and G, and move it somewhere here. So we're gonna have 2 of these elements. Okay, you can offset it a little bit higher, so the distance from the bottom is gonna be a little bit different, just to introduce some kind of a variation. It's gonna be kind of like a connecting, you know, connecting mechanism, or some kind of you know, element here that connects them. We can make it a bit wider. There you go. That's pretty cool, and that makes a bit more sense, you know. All right, so the connection here to the front. Before we do that, let's just align this properly. So again, I want to maintain the break here between the chassis and the rotor. From the top, it should be separated here and slightly to the front. So you see the edge here is in front, so it kind of looks a bit more aggressive. Okay, do you know what I mean? Like with arms kind of stretch forward. So when you look from a bottom or like this kind of an angle, looks kind of a more aggressive. You could even make it a bit wider, but not too wide. Okay, and then let's grab this element here. Let's go to side view here, and we're gonna grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, of these. Okay, and we go into Shift D this, right click, P, selection, and then grab that, and we're gonna remove the solidification, right? Go to edit mode, select everything with A, go to front view, and then E, and move it in. Okay, now let's just turn off this pass through, and let's go to local view. Okay, alt click here, and let's delete this this thing because we don't need it. This one here could be straight, so S, ZZ, and 0 to fix it here on Z axis. Then go back here, SXX, and scale it on X a little bit because it's too thick. And then what we need to do is we need to align it to this edge here, you see. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go to edit mode, occlude. We're gonna grab these 4, and with this proportional tool here enabled, so O, G, Z, and just move it on Z axis up until you see the lines more or less here. These two could be a bit lower, so just drop them down a bit. This is too wide, so what we can do is go to occlude again and grab these and SYY and scale them in. Then go to top view. We're gonna have to adjust it a little bit, so GG, and move them in here, and you know, GG, and move them a little bit in here. Cool. So they are more or less aligned here, more or less aligned here. This starts looking really interesting. Now we could curve this a little bit. So what we could do is introduce some loops here like that. Select the middle one. Okay, go to front view. So here what we're gonna do is GZ with proportional editing enabled, and GZ down here. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of like a wave. Yeah, how this looks. I think it looks pretty cool. Let me see that again. GZ, let's scroll it down a bit. Yeah, like that. See, and this one gonna go up. So let me see that. That looks pretty cool. I like that. Now here we need some kind of an opening, I think. So what we could do is, you know, we could always go with sub D for this. So we could go Control 1 and do this. And then we can go here and we need to turn off the auto smooth because it's gonna cause problems. And we can grab a loop here. We can grab a loop here. We can grab a loop here. And we can grab a loop here. And then let's go Control 2 actually. That's gonna be a bit more smooth, right? What we could do is grab this one to local, click here, Shift S and to edge. This will move the cursor to the edge. We could select all these here, right? Go to front view and rotate your camera a bit like this, and then R, and you could rotate them on cursor like this. So this part's gonna be thicker and this one's gonna be thinner, right? So you can change here to cursor, rotation to cursor, and you can see now you're gonna be rotating on cursor. So you can see that this left side doesn't change, but the right side getting thinner. And I think this is gonna be a little bit more interesting and more kind of streamlined. Adds a little bit more of a grace to this whole shape. Of course, here we could have some bracing or some kind of you know, additional elements. So we could select these, right, and Shift D them, and we could press P to, you know, create a separate selection, and we could scale it as Z. Let's just here go to individual regions. So SXX and scale it a little bit, just this one. SXX, scale it just a little bit. And we could solidify it the other way, okay? So outside here. And this will create an interesting kind of a connection here. So now we can apply solidification, right? And we can have some fun with it. So we can grab these and bevel them, but before we do that, let's apply scale. We could apply subdivision as well and apply some bevel to it. So bevel, move it above solidification, subdivision, add 3 segments, and you know, just lower the bevel a little bit like that. This will do. This actually is quite nice. So we got this kind of like, you know, connecting elements here, which look pretty cool and nice and soft. These ones also could be, you know, softened up. So Control 1, and we could add a bevel here to each of them. So just drop a bevel, and the bevel has to be above subdivision, and 3 segments preferably, and, you know, a little bit thinner. So something like this, you know, will do, right? Here too, Control 1, and again turn off the auto smooth here too, and we could do another bevel. So bevel and move it above subdivision, and 3 segments, and let's just, you know, make it less crazy, right? There we go. Then you got nice, really clean, smooth rotors, and, you know, no problem. Same thing in the back. So we could grab this one more time here, you know, bevel, and then subdivision. So Control 1, and then let's collapse these, and then open the bevel, and 3 segments. Also, each of them should be changed to arc, by the way. And let's just make it smaller. Let's just zoom in because we can't see what's happening. There you go. That's good. Here, Control 1, and select this one, and Control C, and copy modifiers. It should work. Boom. There you go. So that's that. And these ones disappeared, which is kind of funny. Let me see that. Let's solidify it outside. Select this one, Control C, and copy modifiers. Yeah, this is gonna disappear inside here. What we need to do now is move it a bit inside. So let's select this wheel here, Shift S to select it, and then change here to cursor and scale it on cursor. It's gonna move inside like that. And then we're gonna select this one, Control C, copy modifiers, and select this one and scale it in, and select this one, Control C, copy modifiers, select it and scale it, and boom, you're done, and you got your rotor. These also should be, you know, similar, so let's just apply a bevel. And let's remove the this and Control 1, and we could apply a bit more solidification. The bevel is a bit too strong, so 3 segments and, you know, lower it down a bit. And we could increase this solidification so it applied. So what you could do in this case, if you want to make it, you know, thicker, you select these elements here outside, okay, and you Alt S them, and you can thicken it out a little bit, okay, and then we can duplicate them around. So just delete them, select this, Shift S to select it, and then you know, Shift D R Z Z, there we go, and move it here, and then one more, so Shift D R Z Z, boom, right, R Z Z, kind of here, there you go. And this is your the rotor's finished, so we look pretty good here. Let's save that. I actually really like it. I'm thinking about, you know, kind of introducing some shape here as well. Maybe we could wave it in a little bit, so, you know, creates this kind of a situation here. So select them and sort of GG and move them in, you know, to make them a little bit more interesting in terms of shape. GG, and move them in a little bit, kind of like this, you know, so they're again a bit more wavy and sort of fit the design a bit better. I think that looks a bit more interesting. In addition, you could sharpen these up a bit. So what you could do is, you know, introduce some loops here to sharpen this up a bit. Okay, you know what I mean? So it's not so, you know, wishy-washy. The only problem is that you're gonna get these loops going across, and they're gonna mess up the flow a bit. So what you can do is introduce either more loops or simply terminate the loops in a way that they're gonna be going like this. Could move them about to fix this, you know, it's when they're too close, right? You will see the shape's gonna be breaking, like here, you see that? I don't know if you can see that. See this crease? This is caused by these edges being too close. So what you want to do is you want to move stuff a little bit away from one another. So on one hand, you get this close loops here, helping you to sharpen these corners, but at the same time you move these away and you fix the problem here caused by the proximity of loops, right? GG, there you go, and it should look a bit better. See, there you go, now it's smooth. So just a bit of a trick, and I think we're good, guys. I think we're good. This could be a little bit, you know, less bevelly, to be honest. I mean, less, you know, a bit more plate-like. There we go, that's better. Okay. Okay guys, well that's it for this video, and the next one I think what we're gonna be doing is working on the back here a bit. We need some kind of a mechanism over there. We also need probably some kind of a weapon, or like a small gun here on the bottom. I think it's gonna look pretty cool, you know, something something here, so something smaller, you know, here on the bottom, maybe like that, you know. Let me just rotate this. Yeah, something here, you see, mounted. It's gonna look really good. Alright, well thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.